The motorcycle industry has completely lost its mind. We traded simple, beautiful steel machines for fragile, rolling supercomputers. Bored engineers are building complex spaceships that spend more time plugged into laptops than carving asphalt. Today, we mock the industry. We expose the top 12 most over-engineered motorcycles, revealing their insane specs, brutal prices, and the overpaid teams behind these financial traps. I promise you, the final machine is illegal on public roads and requires constant engine rebuilds. Do not blink. Let us begin. Number 12, the Yamaha Niken. Let us kick off this list with the ultimate answer to a question nobody asked, the Yamaha Niken. What exactly happens when a motorcycle engineer gets completely terrified of leaning into a corner? They literally bolt an entire extra wheel to the front of a perfectly good motorcycle and completely ruin the entire aesthetic. It looks exactly like a terrifying mechanical praying mantis, or a reverse trike. This three-wheeled disaster was heavily engineered by the Yamaha leaning multi-wheel division. Instead of a normal, proven front fork, this specific team developed a insanely heavy parallelogram link system utilizing complex Ackermann steering geometry. It literally uses 4 upside-down front forks just to allow the incredibly heavy machine to lean up to 45 degrees. The engine is the proven 847cc inline triple, producing 115 horsepower. But honestly, why? Who actually needs this? You essentially get the wide footprint of a small car, completely removing the entire benefit of splitting traffic lanes, just to avoid washing out the front tire in the rain. When we discuss comfort and rideability, the seat height sits at a manageable 32.6 inches. Comfort is actually highly decent because the seat is wide and incredibly plush. Is it easy to ride? Yes, it is incredibly easy to ride because it physically refuses to fall over at high speeds. But it is incredibly hard to ride into a local bike night without being relentlessly laughed at by every single veteran rider on the street. The front end weighs as much as a boat anchor, making the steering feel totally numb. As for the financial damage, a brand new model originally demanded a $16,000. Because nobody wanted to look like a rolling clown, they depreciated. You can safely buy a used model today for roughly $9,000. If you think adding a third wheel is absolute lunacy, wait until you see the terrifying radar-guided Italian missile sitting at number 9. Number 11. The Honda Goldwing Tour Airbag DCT. Honda makes absolute mechanical anvils, but sometimes they treat motorcycles exactly like luxury automobiles that are simply missing 2 doors. The Honda Goldwing Tour Airbag DCT is the ultimate midlife crisis couch. It is so ridiculously over-engineered that you literally forget you are outside in the actual elements. Engineered by the elite Honda Touring Research and Development Division, this rolling living room features an 1,833cc horizontally opposed flat-six engine. But that is not the crazy part. It features a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, meaning there is completely no manual clutch lever. But wait, it gets so much worse. It features an actual automotive airbag that deploys from the gas tank area if you crash. It features a fully electric reverse gear. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a digital screen, and electronically controlled double wishbone front suspension that completely replaces traditional front forks. Comfort? It is an undisputed 10 out of 10. The seat height is a microscopic 29.3 inches. It is literally a heated massaging recliner. Is it easy to ride? Going strictly forward on the highway at 80 miles per hour, it is totally effortless. But navigating this 840-pound yacht through a tight, sloped gravel parking lot is utterly terrifying. To buy the absolute top-tier airbag model brand new, you will nervously write a check for $33,000. Pristine used models sit around $20,000. You could literally buy a highly reliable used Honda Civic for significantly less money, and you would actually get air conditioning and a metal roof. What happens when highly precise, incredibly clinical German engineers desperately try to copy the loud, heavy, unrefined American Harley-Davidson? You get the next bike. Number 10, the BMW R 18 Transcontinental. This is an incredibly heavy, completely overstyled caricature of a cruiser that tries far too hard to be authentically vintage. And yet I kind of like this one. To look at, not ride it. Developed entirely by the BMW Motorrad Heritage Division, they started by casting the absolute largest boxer engine in BMW history, an absurd 1,802cc twin. Because they desperately wanted it to feel authentic, they intentionally engineered it to vibrate at idle, rocking the entire heavy motorcycle side to side when you twist the throttle. You better not miss leg day, because they proudly utilize an exposed, spinning, nickel-plated drive shaft directly under your fragile leg. Then to completely ruin the vintage illusion, they slapped a 10-inch digital touchscreen and a Marshall Gold Series acoustic sound system directly into the front fairing. The seat height is a very low 29.1 inches. However, comfort is surprisingly terrible for a heavy touring bike because the cylinder heads protrude directly into the exact space where your feet desperately want to rest, meaning you can never stretch your aging legs forward on highway pegs. Is it easy to ride? Not. It weighs an earth-shattering 941 pounds. It handles exactly like a loaded dump truck on a wet, slippery road. A brand new model commands at $25,000. The resulting depreciation is a complete financial bloodbath. You can easily secure used models for roughly $15,000. Listen up, hardcore gearheads. Are you proudly riding a beautifully simple, carbureted machine? Or have you foolishly fallen into the expensive trap of digital touchscreens and radar cruise control? Tell me in the comments right now. And if you respect straight talk over dealership marketing lies, hit that subscribe button. Let us jump directly back into the madness. Number 9, the Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. Adventure motorcycles were originally designed to cross muddy rivers, drop onto jagged rocks, and survive neglect. Ducati looked at the rugged adventure category and completely missed the entire point. They built the Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak, a $30,000 dirt bike-shaped street missile that will instantly bankrupt you if it ever touches the actual dirt. And the thing is, when you score a world-class Italian supermodel, you take her to a fancy restaurant in Milan or book a 5-star hotel on Lake Como. You don't take her to a mud wrestling match or a backyard cage fight. You wouldn't ask a woman in a couture silk dress to help you dig a ditch or haul concrete blocks. The Multistrada is exactly like that. She is stunning, she is fast, and she is far too elegant to ever get her manicure ruined by a gravel pit. It is a mechanical loophole for the rider who wants the adventure look but has absolutely zero intention of ever leaving the pavement. While the world chases dust and grime, this Ducati stays on the red carpet where she belongs. Developed by the legendary Ducati course racing department in Borgo Panigale, this machine is pure, unadulterated insanity. It utilizes the 1,158cc V4 Gran Turismo engine, producing a truly terrifying 170 horsepower. But the absolute over-engineering lies directly in the technology. Ducati bolted highly fragile, expensive automotive radar sensors to the front and rear of the motorcycle. It features adaptive cruise control that automatically brakes the heavy motorcycle for you, and blind spot detection lights heavily integrated into the rearview mirrors. The seat height is a towering 33.1 inches. Comfort is incredibly premium, featuring heated seats and active Öhlins smart suspension that constantly adjusts the shock damping based on the road surface thousands of times per second. Is it easy to ride? Yes, because the supercomputers completely babysit you. But it is terrifying to drop. If you clumsily tip this heavy machine over in a grocery store parking lot and crack that incredibly fragile front radar module, you are looking at thousands of dollars in proprietary electronic repairs. A brand new model costs an astronomical $31,000. Used models quickly drop to $24,000. It is the ultimate status symbol for rich dentists who desperately want to look like off-road adventurers but strictly ride to the local expensive espresso bar. Bolting radar to a dirt bike is hilarious. But what if you bolt a supercharger to a comfortable touring bike? Do not blink. The next bike bends the laws of physics. Number 8. The Kawasaki Ninja H2 SXSE. Sport touring is purely about packing your hard saddlebags, grabbing a passenger, and crossing the state in absolute comfort. Kawasaki looked at that highly logical concept and thought, you know what this heavy touring bike really needs? A whining, terrifying supercharger. The Kawasaki Ninja H2 SXSE is an absolute, undeniable overkill touring missile. Engineered heavily by Kawasaki Heavy Industries' aerospace and gas turbine division, this machine is mathematically absurd. It features a 998cc inline-4 engine equipped with a proprietary supercharger whose fragile aluminum impeller spins at 130,000 revolutions per minute. It generates nearly 200 horsepower. Then Kawasaki added the advanced rider assistance systems, front and rear Bosch radar, forward collision warning, and the Skyhook electronic suspension. They essentially built a military cruise missile and slapped hard plastic luggage onto it. The seat height is 32.1 inches. Comfort is decent, leaning heavily toward the harsh sports side of the sport touring spectrum. Is it easy to ride? The highly sophisticated computers completely prevent you from instantly looping the motorcycle backward, but the acceleration is overwhelming. It weighs 590 pounds, making it feel exactly like a heavy freight train when awkwardly navigating slow city streets. A brand new model demands $28,000. Used models plummet to $19,000. Why do you actually need a supercharger to commute across the boring highway? You will literally arrive at your cheap hotel exactly 4 seconds faster than the smart guy on the cheap Honda. Up next is the beast. Brace yourself. Number 7, the KTM 1390 Super Duke R Evo. KTM proudly calls this orange motorcycle the beast. We call it the absolute pinnacle of Austrian over-engineering, the KTM 1390. Super Duke R Evo is a naked street fighter that possesses so much violent, unadulterated horsepower that it completely requires a supercomputer just to prevent the rider from instantly dying at every single stoplight. Developed by Kiska Design and the KTM factory, this machine utilizes an 1,350cc V-twin engine. It rips 190 horsepower out of 2 cylinders, but because it has no front fairing to keep the front wheels safely on the ground, the engineers bolted ridiculous aerodynamic winglets to the side of the gas tank just to generate downforce. It features magnetic valve semi-active suspension that automatically drops the rear of the motorcycle at a stoplight to give you a drag racing launch stance. The seat height is 32.8 inches. The harsh ergonomics strictly force you into a violent attack posture. Is it easy to ride? Not. It is an absolute terrifying wheelie monster. If you dare to turn off the heavy anti-wheelie algorithms, the front tire claws for the sky in the first 4 gears. And let us be brutally honest, if you are riding fast enough on a naked bike for those side winglets to actually generate downforce, the wind blast has already ripped your premium helmet clean off your head. A brand new model costs $21,000. Used models sit firmly at $18,000. It is the ultimate hooligan machine, strictly for riders with life insurance policies. Are you enjoying this dive into mechanical absurdity? If you miss the simple, reliable days of cheap carburetors and raw cable throttles, hit that like button right now. And seriously, hit that subscribe button so we can keep building the ultimate digital garage. Let us hit the absolute elite tier of over-engineered trash. Number 6. The Aston Martin AMB 001 Pro. We have officially entered the incredibly toxic realm of billionaire absurdity. What exactly happens when a luxury British car manufacturer decides to randomly build a motorcycle? You get an over-engineered, track-only art piece that will never see actual asphalt. The Aston Martin AMB 001 Pro is not a functional vehicle. It is an incredibly expensive paperweight. Engineered in a bizarre, highly questionable collaboration between Aston Martin and Bro Superior, this machine is meticulously hand-assembled in France. It utilizes a custom-machined aluminum frame and a full carbon fiber body. The engine is a 997cc V-twin, but because they desperately wanted ultimate bragging rights at the country club, they bolted a turbocharger to it. It produces 225 horsepower and weighs a microscopic 385 pounds dry. It features a highly complex Fjord-type machined aluminum front fork entirely instead of traditional, proven suspension. Comfort? Completely irrelevant. The incredibly harsh seat is literally a microscopic pad of hand-stitched leather heavily glued to a rigid carbon fiber spine. Is it easy to ride? Nobody on Earth actually knows because zero owners will ever risk taking it to a harsh track day. It is incredibly hard to ride simply because the terror of scratching the bespoke paint job would completely paralyze you. A brand new model originally cost $120,000, and they strictly only built 88 units. You can only find them used at exclusive international collector auctions. It is the ultimate flex for a wealthy hedge fund manager who does not even properly possess a motorcycle license. Paying over $100,000 for a motorcycle you cannot ride is pathetic, but wait until you see the carbon fiber nightmare coming up next. Keep watching. Number 5. The BMW M1000RR. BMW already possessed one of the greatest, most capable superbikes on the entire planet with the standard S1000RR. But the greedy German executives demanded more prestige, amounts of carbon fiber, and a ridiculous price hike. They handed the perfect motorcycle to their automotive M division, resulting in the BMW M1000RR. It is a completely over-engineered race bike casually wearing mirrors. Developed entirely by the prestigious BMW M division, this machine features a 999cc inline-4 engine equipped with ultra-expensive titanium valves and panel connecting rods. It screams to a 15,000 RPMs to produce 212 horsepower. But the sheer over-engineering is heavily focused on the aerodynamics. BMW bolted highly aggressive carbon fiber M winglets to the front fairing. They utilize full carbon fiber wheels, which are notoriously fragile on real-world pothole-filled city streets. The seat height is an agonizing 32.8 inches. It is a literal medieval torture rack. Your fragile wrists support your entire body weight, and your cramped knees are practically touching your chin. Is it easy to ride? On a smooth, perfectly paved MotoGP circuit, it is a flawless, laser-guided missile. On the harsh public street, it is completely miserable. The engine begs to sit at 14,000 RPMs, making slow city traffic an absolute stuttering nightmare. A brand new model demands a staggering $38,000. Used models fetch $29,000. Here is the brutal joke. You pay nearly $40,000 for carbon fiber winglets that only generate functional downforce at 180 miles per hour, yet you strictly ride it to the local Starbucks at 45 miles per hour. It is pure, unadulterated ego. Number 4. The Honda R C213 VS. In 2015, Honda performed the ultimate engineering stunt. They promised to build a street-legal version of Marc Marquez's actual MotoGP championship-winning race bike, the Honda R C213. VS is a towering masterpiece of Japanese engineering, but it is simultaneously the most hilariously castrated, over-engineered scam in motorcycle history. Developed directly by the legendary Honda Racing Corporation, this machine is painstakingly hand-built by elite technicians. It features a 999cc V4 engine. It heavily uses titanium connecting rods, sand-cast aluminum crankcases, and a wash-rattling dry clutch. The mechanical engineering is flawless. However, to make this absolute MotoGP weapon pass strict United States noise and emissions regulations, Honda completely choked the exhaust and mapped the digital ECU. The seat height is 32.7 inches. It features pure, unapologetic race bike ergonomics. Is it easy to ride? Ironically, yes, because in the United States, Honda utterly detuned this magnificent hyperbike to produce a pathetic, insulting 101 horsepower. You literally paid hypercar money to get the exact same horsepower as a cheap, beaten-up used Yamaha R6. When it was brand new, Honda demanded an astronomical $184,000. To securely unlock the actual power, you had to buy a non-street legal $12,000 racing kit. Because of the insane collector bubble, these machines now consistently sell used for over $250,000. It is the ultimate symbol of having far more money than basic mechanical common sense. We are now at the pinnacle of engineering madness. If you are shocked by these price tags and utterly useless features, prove it by hitting the like button and hit subscribe to join the only motorcycle channel that tells the truth. Let us reveal the final three. Number 3, the Bimota Tesi H2. Take a deeply over-engineered Kawasaki supercharged engine, hand it directly over to a group of mad Italian boutique engineers, and tell them to completely reinvent the front suspension. The terrifying result is the Bimota Tesi H2. It visually looks like a terrifying, transforming robot from a Michael Bay movie that got completely stuck halfway through its messy transformation. This highly bizarre machine is a collaborative engineering nightmare between Bimota and Kawasaki Heavy Industries. It utilizes the screaming, supercharged 998cc engine from the Ninja H2, producing 228 horsepower. But the absolute insanity lies in the front end. Bimota completely threw away the traditional front forks. Instead, they utilized an insanely complex hub center steering system. It features a billet aluminum front swing arm, dozens of fragile mechanical pivot points, heim joints, and a highly complex linkage system connecting the handlebars to the front wheel hub. The seat height is 33.1 inches. Is it easy to ride? The hub center steering completely separates braking forces from suspension forces, meaning the motorcycle never dives forward when you grab the Brembo brakes. However, because of the complex, heavily engineered mechanical linkages, the rider feels completely, terrifyingly disconnected from the front tire. You get zero feedback from the asphalt. It feels exactly like riding a heavy, supercharged video game controller. A brand new model costs a staggering $72,000. Used models drop to $60,000. Why use two simple, proven metal tubes with springs inside when you can forcefully use 47 complex pivot points to accomplish the exact same thing? Over-engineering at its absolute finest. Ducati engineers are obsessed with weight reduction. For the next bike, they threw out the entire budget and decided to build a heavy motorcycle completely out of baked carbon fiber. Number 2, the Ducati Superleggera V4. The Ducati Superleggera V4 is an incredibly fragile, fast piece of exotic jewelry that completely shatters the basic laws of physics and common financial sense. Engineered strictly by the elite Ducati Course division, this machine is mathematically staggering. The 998cc V4 engine produces a mind-bending 234 horsepower when equipped with the ridiculously loud titanium racing exhaust. To achieve a microscopic dry weight of merely 335 pounds, Ducati manufactured the entire main frame, the subframe, the single-sided swing arm, and the aerodynamic biplane winglets entirely out of brittle carbon fiber. Even the rotating wheels are carbon fiber. The seat height is 32.9 inches. The seating position is agonizingly aggressive. Is it easy to ride? It is incredibly, terrifyingly hard to ride. The power-to-weight ratio is so aggressive that the motorcycle constantly fights the digital traction control system, desperately trying to keep the rear tire from spinning into complete oblivion. Furthermore, it is incredibly fragile. If you accidentally hit a harsh pothole on the street, those incredibly expensive carbon fiber wheels can instantly crack, resulting in a catastrophic, deadly failure. A brand new model demands an earth-shattering $100,000. Used models command $90,000 and up. If you clumsily drop this motorcycle at a quiet stoplight, the carbon fiber frame does not just dent, it structurally shatters and turns into a naked bike. You are paying a premium to ride a ticking, highly fragile plastic bomb. We have finally reached the absolute summit, the undisputed king of over-engineering. A motorcycle so ridiculously powerful, so fast, and so uncompromisingly complex that the government literally made it illegal to ride on public streets. Number 1. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R is the ultimate, utterly useless flex of corporate engineering dominance. Developed by a collaboration across Kawasaki's aerospace, gas turbine, and corporate technology divisions, this is not a motorcycle. It is a ground-based missile. It features a 998cc inline-4 engine, heavily equipped with a proprietary centrifugal supercharger. It produces in terrifying 310 horsepower, peaking at an absurd 326 horsepower with pressurized ram air. It heavily utilizes carbon fiber wings to prevent the motorcycle from literally taking flight at 249 miles per hour. It features a stunning, self-healing silver mirror paint job containing a thick layer of actual pure silver. The seat height is 32.7 inches. Comfort is utterly irrelevant. Is it easy to ride? It actively wants to kill you. The acceleration is so aggressive that it literally blurs your absolute vision. But the true over-engineering joke is the brutal maintenance schedule. Kawasaki explicitly, legally states that if you ride this motorcycle above 8,000 RPMs, the engine must undergo a highly expensive service inspection every single 15 hours of operation. It comes with zero factory warranty. And here is the brutal, hilarious irony. It is an incredibly expensive track-only motorcycle, but because the screaming, supercharged exhaust produces a deafening 120 decibels, it is completely banned from almost every single track day event in the entire world for violating strict noise limits. You cannot legally ride it on the street, and you are not allowed to ride it on the track. A brand new model costs $58,000. Used models heavily sit at $45,000. It is the absolute, undisputed king of totally useless, highly expensive over-engineering. Thank you so much for riding with us through this countdown. Click on the next video to continue the ride. And if this video saved you from buying a fragile, heavily depreciating supercomputer, hit that subscribe button, click the like, and leave a comment below telling me which of these disasters you would secretly love to park in your garage.